Hello everybody and welcome to another test route video. In this test route we will be negotiating some tricky residential streets with lots of open and closed T-junctions and meeting situations, as well as returning back to the test centre over the Wickes roundabout. I'm at the driving test centre car park and I'm exiting the car park to the right. It's currently 9:01 on a Saturday morning. There's not much traffic around as it's not a working day. We are approaching the first junction of the driving test. At the end of the road, turn to the right. People have failed their test at this first junction for not looking to the left. There is a road going to the left. It may be a dead end, but lorries and vehicles can still come from the left. This next road normally has a lot of parked vehicles along it, however today not so many. You may need to give way to the oncoming traffic depending on how much space is available. At the end of the road we're going to turn to the right. It's possible to see right and left before you reach the giveaway line, but the view is limited in both directions and the situation can change very quickly at this junction. At the end of the road we're going to turn to the left. At this junction the view is open to the right, so look early, and it's closed to the left. As you come around to the left, be careful of oncoming traffic passing parked cars on their side of the road. This road often has parked cars on the bridge, so be prepared for the oncoming traffic. There's a roundabout map, 5 exits. We're going ahead to the second exit, so keeping to the left lane. There is limited visibility around the central island on the roundabout, so be prepared for the situation to change very late. There's the first exit, mirrors, signal left, take the second exit. There's a light control crossing and a triangle sign for school with an advisory speed of 20 when the lights are flashing, so not a speed limit, just an advisory. If the lights are flashing, it's best to follow the advisory maximum of 20 until you have passed the school zone. If the lights are not flashing, you can continue to follow the speed limit of 30. As you can see, this road is clear of hazards. I'm going to make progress, keeping the speed up as close to 30 as I can. Exceeding the speed limit for too long or by too much will fail the driving test. Make sure to bring your speed back down to a legal limit as soon as you can if you do go over. There are 2 triangle signs, road narrowing and cycle path. There are always parked cars around this corner. Look well ahead at the earliest opportunity. Use your road positioning skill to help you see along the road. There's a big enough gap for me to proceed. This road can be a real nightmare around the school rush time. 2 more triangle signs, one for danger ahead and one for road narrowing from both sides. Can you see the 2 build-outs creating a pinch point? Be prepared to give way to oncoming traffic back here. During weekdays, this next corner is a nightmare. There are parked cars all the way around this corner. But not today, as it's a Saturday. There is a parked car at the end of the corner though, looking well ahead, and I need to give way to the oncoming car. I can see further down the road there is a zebra crossing. Good visibility on both sides, so should be able to anticipate early if I'm going to meet any pedestrians. The crossing is clear, then there are parked cars on the left and I need to be prepared for cars exiting the mini roundabout just behind the parked cars. At the mini roundabout, planning to turn to the left. It's a closed view to the right. I need to go far enough forwards until I can see far enough to the right to make a safe decision. And here we go into the chicanes. Going downhill through the chicanes. Make sure to slow down to a perfect speed, about a jogging speed, to negotiate through a chicane so that you have really good steering accuracy. Going to take the next turning on the right. Going to look into the side road as well as ahead, just to check for a meeting situation. Could be a parked car, could be a pedestrian waiting to cross. Lots of parked cars along this road, lots of potential for meeting situations. The speed limit is about to change to 20, often an indication that there is a school nearby or vulnerable road users. Could be an elderly home. On this occasion there is a school going off to the left. Going to take the next turning on the right into one of my favourite road names in Taunton, Victory Road. Going to look into the side road for pedestrians waiting to cross and ahead for oncoming traffic. Speed limit's just changed to 30. We got parked cars on the left just before a left bend. Awkward. More parked cars along the hill. And approaching the brow of the hill, can't see the oncoming traffic here, so the situation can change at the last moment. Now committed past the parked cars, but a small passing place on the left there. Another passing place on the left in the mouth of the side road. At the end of the road, turn to the left. There's an open junction, this one, should look early to the right and the left. Can proceed without stopping. It's very quiet today. Going to take the next turning on the right. This is a very dangerous turn. Cannot see the oncoming traffic and cannot see into the side road until I reach the turn. So it was necessary to slow down to a creeping pace on approach to that turn. And another really awkward road with parked cars. And at the end of the road, going to turn to the left. There is no space beyond this parked car at the moment, so I'm just waiting back, and there is a car turning into this road. At the end of the road, I'm turning to the left. There's a triangle sign for road narrowing and single file traffic on the left side, so careful on the left side. Looking well ahead, more parked cars on the right side of the road. So oncoming traffic should give way to me if they have somewhere to give way. There's a few spaces on their side, so not a problem at the moment. At the end of the road, turning to the right. If an oncoming car turns into this road now, it could be a problem. It's a very closed junction, this one. Going to need to move as far forwards as possible, probably creeping over the line to see far enough to the right and the left. Lots of parked cars along this road as well. Meeting situations central. I can see a zebra crossing up ahead. On the crossing, so continuing. Going to take the next turning on the left. Often pedestrians crossing the road going into this turning. Having a look for pedestrians in case I need to give way. All clear. There's a triangle sign on the left for elderly. The road is changing to single file in places. Need to be prepared to give way to oncoming traffic. Nobody has the priority through here. I normally use the strategy that if I am going to arrive to a narrowing at the same time as an oncoming vehicle, I will be the one to give way. If they decide to give way to me, then I will go through. The bus driver must have had excellent observation. We're going to take the next turn on the left. There's almost always a parked car around this corner. It's very hard to see. you're going to need to position your car to see past the parked car and only go when you can see it's safe to go. So looking along this road, there's parked cars on the left all the way along this road. Difficult to judge if two cars will pass through this space. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. There's lots of spaces on the left side, so I'm already assessing them and deciding which space I will drive into if I meet an oncoming car. Now, where are all these oncoming cars? You could drive in a way where you're hoping for the best, but make sure you are planning and preparing for the worst. You could be asked to do a pull-up on the left and move away again on this road, as well as a reverse parallel park. At the end of the road, we're going to turn to the right. It's possible to look right and left before you reach the giveaway line on this one. At the end of the next road, we're going to turn to the right. A very closed junction, this one. Limited visibility going to the right and the left. You may need to move slightly over the giveaway line to extend your view to the right and left in order to make a safe decision if it's safe to go. No need to rush that junction. Take the next turn on the left. Turning into a very narrow road with limited visibility, lower that speed down, be prepared to give way. More parked cars. See what I mean about this route being all about meeting situations. Going to take the next turning on the right. Can't decide early on this one as there is a left bend just before the turn. Things can change at the last moment on this one. Turning into the road, more parked cars. Got a little triangle sign there for roadworks. Road narrowing from the right. Oncoming traffic. That's quite a narrow space. Think I'm going to go through this one at a jogging speed. According to the DVSA's statistics, 1 out of every 3 tests will carry out an emergency stop during their driving test on a road a bit like this. Make sure you know and understand what is expected from you on your emergency stop, because you don't want to fail for that. At the end of the road, going to turn to the left. Can see a couple of runners going to give way. I can see to the right, but I'm turning into a narrow left side. I'm going to take a bit of care coming around this corner. There are 2 triangle signs coming up on the left. Double bend and cycle path, and an advisory max speed of 20. However, I don't think a driver could do 20 around these corners, not safely anyway. Not enough visibility going around this corner to the left to do 20. There's a triangle sign on the right for pedestrians in the road. There's a triangle sign coming up on the right for double bend, and the hazard warning line in the middle of the road has disappeared. As the road is narrowing, need to be prepared for oncoming traffic here. If it's a large vehicle, I may need to stop. Hazard warning line is reappearing. And we have 2 sides again. It's really important to try and make progress along this road where we have clear stretches. It can be really frustrating following a slow driver through this area. However, you must be able to stop safely in the distance you can see to be clear on your side of the road, so keep the speed appropriate. Triangle sign on the left for speed humps and a circle sign for give way to the oncoming traffic. Look early and make progress if it's safe to do so. I can see the first speed hump, and these are long speed humps. You can negotiate these speed humps at a higher speed, about 15 works well for me. The hazard warning line in the middle of the road is disappearing, as the road is becoming very narrow. The worst vehicle you could meet right now would be a bus or a lorry, and be prepared for those. There's another circle sign coming up saying give way to oncoming vehicles. You cannot see if it's safe to pass this build out until you reach the give way line, so slow down to jogging pace, be prepared to give way. Triangle sign on the left for traffic lights. At the traffic lights, we're going to turn to the left. There is a shop coming up on the left with a busy shop entrance. It's very important that you don't signal left before the shop entrance. The shop entrance is just before the traffic light, so delay your signal until you pass the shop entrance and now signal left. We are finally out of the residential streets. There's a light controlled crossing, no pedestrians waiting. The road is clear, looking to make progress. My speed is between 25 and 30. There's a roundabout map coming up on the left in the trees. It's a small roundabout. These are normally mini roundabouts. At the mini roundabout, we're going to turn right to the second exit. It's a late visibility into the side road on the right. So looking to the right, spotting the gap in the traffic coming from the right, make sure the front of your car comes around the painted circle on the mini roundabout and not over the painted circle. As it's a larger mini roundabout, we must bring the car around the circle. Lots of parked cars along the right side of this road, still plenty of space. Forget about the painted white line down the middle of the road because the oncoming traffic is going to be driving on that. Need to just keep my road positioning more to the left but continuing to make good progress along the road. Only really concerned if it's a larger oncoming vehicle. Got Taunton school entrance on the left here. Not expecting too much activity there on a Saturday morning. There's a triangle sign on the left for traffic lights. So I'm expecting either a light controlled crossing or a traffic light junction. There is a roundabout map coming up with 5 exits. We are going to take the first exit on the left. So keeping to the left lane. There's no lane dividers here to guide you in your lane. Keep yourself well to the left. Steering accuracy is so important on this roundabout. Many people will have failed their test on that roundabout for straight lining over the right lane. Now, look at this road. Loads of clear distance up ahead. Speed limit's 30. Need to make good progress here. Can't justify driving slow. However, it's very easy to speed along a road like this because there is so much clear distance in front that it can be tempting to make too much progress. So need to keep the discipline. Keep that speed 27, 28, 29. Perfect. There's a junction map there coming up. So expecting a junction around the corner. There's a stale green traffic light coming up. It's been green for a while, expecting it to change. Not on this occasion. There's another green traffic light coming up in the distance. It's been green for a long time, so expecting that one to change. Double yellow lines along the edge of the road, so not expecting any parked cars along here, although could be a van unloading or loading, possibly a breakdown, but generally all clear. Plenty of light control crossings here. Just around this bend, there's another light control crossing. There's a triangle sign coming up on the left for side winds, normally found as you're going over bridges. We're approaching a roundabout with 4 exits. We're going to be taking the first exit on the left. Good visibility around the central island, but late visibility to the right. So as there's no blocker, need to be ready to give way to traffic coming from the right. Now coming up to the Wickes roundabout, 4 exits on this one. We're going to be going left first exit. It's looking unusually quiet at the roundabout today. The speed limit is about to change to 40 just before the roundabout. The 2 cars on my right are making it difficult for me to see, so I'm going to get closer to the line and then look. Need a blocker. There's a blocker. Speed limit's changing to 30. The left lane is ending and we're merging into the right lane. Triangle signs coming up for 2-way traffic. So leaving the dual carriageway at this point. Another triangle sign there for side winds. Double solid white lines in the centre of the road. Coming over the O Bridge, over the River Taunton. And again, it's a really clear road, this one. Be so careful with your speed. It's so easy to go over the speed limit on a road like this. There's a roundabout map coming up, 4 exits. We're going to be turning right to the 3rd exit. So keeping to the right. Can't see around the central island, but can see to the right side road. Make use of blockers here. Make sure to check that left mirror, and if it's not safe to exit the roundabout, be prepared to go round the roundabout a second time. 2 triangle signs on the left, pedestrians in the road and cycle path. There's a central island there for pedestrians to stand on when crossing the road. Another clear road. I've already said it once, I'll say it again. Be so careful with your speed. There's a roundabout map coming up, 5 exits. We're going to turn right to the 4th exit to the Crown Industrial Estate and Recycling Centre. So keeping to the right, assessing the visibility, can't see round the central island, a late view into the side road on the right. Make use of the blockers that you can see on the roundabout. That's exit 1. Counting the exits, 2, exit 3, left mirror, left signal, exit 4. Approaching the bridge. Always park cars on this bridge. Difficult to see. Make sure the gap is big enough to overtake the parked cars. Don't want to make the oncoming traffic brake. Going to take the next turning on the right. Going to look into the side road on the right and watch out for oncoming traffic coming around the bend. Going to take the next turning on the left just after the tool station entrance. Just 2 more roads to go and we'll be back at the test centre. Think by now your heart rate hopefully has slowed down a little bit compared to the beginning of the test. Take the next turning on the left. And finally, drive down to the end of the road and take the last turning on the left into the test centre car park. As you come into the test centre, you may be asked to stop between the gates, or you could be asked just to drive forwards into one of the bays, not as a manoeuvre, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Once parked up, you will receive your result. That's the end of this test route video. I really hope it's been helpful. If it has been helpful, please leave a comment. And what would be really helpful to me is if you could like the video, subscribe to my channel, and keep an eye out for my upcoming videos all about learning to drive and preparing for your driving test. Thank you and goodbye.